Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator and a teacher of narration.
And I'm Trenton Bennett, and I'm also an audiobook narrator.
And we offer weekly videos, just brushing up on what we remember being important about the craft of audiobook narration and the business of audiobook narration. This is, we believe, a useful thing, certainly for us, but also if you are narration curious, all the way to if you're a highly experienced narrator and just want some reminders of things to consider. So I hand it to Trenton. This week's topic. Go for it.
All right. Hi, folks. One of the things that I really wanted to share with you, and Matt and I have both come from the same school, is that when you take on a project, you have to remember that your most important goal when you're delivering the product is you want to take care of your customer. That is an important phrase to think of, and because take care of can be very general, but there's an emotional component to them. You want to feel comfortable. You want to make sure your client is not doesn't have anything to worry about. So, for example, you want to be sure that when they communicate with you, you're available. If anything comes up in the project, don't drop out or delay and not say anything. Say, hey, we got a problem. It's going to take me a little longer. But you keep in communication with them. But most importantly, when you deliver, you give them that feeling that you're taking care of them by going that extra mile to communicate to them, to help them understand what's going to happen or when something comes up. And at the same time, if they need something, be able to answer them as well. A lot of this is relationship building that has to do with creating a good feeling for them that they can rely on you, that they know that they can depend on you both to deliver and to think of them.
Now, one of the things that has me curious about this is when clients aren't being taken care of, what is usually the reason narrators are doing that, other than these narrators being the bad ones who are twirling their so-called mustaches
The
and
evil narrator.
being evil narrators? What are the temptations that would lead to losing one's bedside manner or simply ghosting or ignoring people?
Besides $1 million,
Right.
I think sometimes money can be a thing where you say, look, I got all these things coming in and this one's paying more than that one. Let me just knock this one out and those guys can wait.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a business decision and that's okay, but you need to negotiate that and inform them instead of just ghosting folks. You say, okay, hey, I've just got a production delay in this project. I wanted you to know that I've had to shift the deadline. Is that going to work?
Mm-hmm.
Work with them if you have to. But the other piece of that is you also don't want to take that $1 million and give a 50-cent job to the other client. So even though some projects may feel more lucrative than others, all of them are lucrative in the sense of you're building goodwill and you're building a relationship. These publishers do talk to each other. Even though they compete, these are people who meet at conventions just like we do. And everyone wants to think of your name in tandem with the idea that that's a reliable person. I can count on them.
Mm-hmm. Um, relationships. I mean, this is so much what the work is about, isn't it? It's relationship of author to narrator. It's relationship of publisher to author, relationship of audience to art, relationship of narrator to the text. It's just all about relationships, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the more loyal and dialed in the relationship, the more room there actually is for being playful and for enjoying oneself and for pleasant surprises along the way. You know, one of the things that I really enjoy doing with my new authors is getting them just a welcome present after our first project is done together. I pick out a mug for them, and sometimes it's themed with the same theme of the book that they have. So yeah, just little things like that. And the other thing I'll say, folks, is as always, when a customer or a client is acting cranky, as a sensitive artist, certainly it's my first, impulse to just be like, who's the professional here, huh? 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 But really, and especially something that Trent reminded me of, is they're anxious. They're nervous. They're scared. They feel like they're not getting taken care of, or they're most of all, they're not going to be taken care of. So there's some of that like fight, 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 and such, because otherwise, maybe this person will take advantage of them. So it's important to recognize that and to remember, oh, yes, they're probably responding this way because they're afraid that I am this type of narrator when I know that I'm not. So I just need to tell them that everything's going to be okay, and to, for my actions to reflect that.
That's a good point, and a very important component of that is knowing when you get a text message or an ACX message or an email from someone, those words on a screen, sometimes your own emotional reaction may be a little bit more than was intended by the person writing the words. If they're
Mhm.
not typing all caps and using a lot of exclamation points, sometimes I'll take a moment and I'll go, "Oh, what's this coming at me? Okay, hang on. What is it they're really trying to say? What do
Right,
they need me to do? And are they really upset about that? Or is it just that they're asking for something and maybe they're not saying please, they're just saying, can I get this thing? It
right,
doesn't mean, you failed to do this thing and I really didn't like it and now I'm unhappy. So you have to kind of temper your expectations. The other piece of that, though, Matt, is a long time ago, I had a job in college where I worked for Disney, a summer job. And I got to go through the Disney customer service training that everybody at the company did. They did this for back then. Anybody who got a job went through the same training that the C suite did of 1 week of customer service. And one of the things about that is that your attitude can go a very long way towards helping people feel comfortable. So even when you meet somebody that's upset, or maybe you're trying to figure out if they're upset, when you work through it with a lot of positivity, that tends to be contagious because other people know that you're staying positive because you are seeing a way out. You're trying to help them solve the problem, or at the very least, you're wanting to reassure them that you're there to hold their hand.
yes. One final note on that, folks. You never can over communicate with a client. Every single little thing that might be changing, just drop them a friendly note letting them know that this is happening. It doesn't have to be anything that they respond to. Just keep them in the loop, which will increase their trust that if anything is wrong, you will keep them in the loop. So
Can I put a caveat in there just because sometimes we do wrangle with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of imposter syndrome, or a little bit of just random things that get in our way?
sure.
It's good to keep them in the loop. But at the same time, there's a certain size of the loop that you want it to be. In other words, you don't want to have in the back of your mind, I'm going to record 3 chapters today. And when you fail, send them an email going, oh gosh, I'm real sorry. I wanted to get 3 chapters today, but it didn't happen because this thing happened and there was this dog barking. And then I went outside and the next thing you know, I got a sunburn and I don't know what to do. And I'm so sorry. Don't give them anything to worry about. Just let them know what you did accomplish and focus on the positives of, hey, just wanted you to know we got 2 chapters today, and the third is on its way. Probably going to have that to you tomorrow. I,
Yeah.
I say that I know some folks just deliver the whole darn audiobook. I do kind of an iterative thing where I give them chapters as we go to
Hmm.
give them a chance to review it and catch anything that might be a production problem that would help me, that would be a problem 12 chapters later. Let's try to
Sure.
find that early if we can.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, I mean yeah, you don't want the person to be your one subscriber to a blog about this process. So yeah, I mean for me it's just about, what agreements did we make, and if there's a slight change to the agreement, just give them a heads up, and it probably won't be a big deal, but just keep them in the loop there. That size loop.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Matt Haynes.
And I'm Trenton Bennett.
And as your narrators and teachers of narration, I hope that our voices and your ears meet again real soon.
Me
Take care,
too.
everyone.
Thanks, folks.